Hello students, in this video you are going to study chapter 3 reproduction in animals. Learning objectives of this chapter: asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction, sexual reproduction in human beings, fertilization, embryonic growth and development, and birth. Introduction of this chapter: reproduction is an important characteristic of all living beings. We know that, like plants, animals also reproduce. They produce young ones of their own kind to maintain and continue their race. For example, dogs, cats, and human beings all produce offspring of their own kind. The process by which living beings give birth to their young ones of their own kind to maintain and continue their species is called reproduction. It is a universal characteristic essential for continuity and survival of species. I repeat, the process by which living beings give birth to their young ones on their own, one of their own kind to maintain and continue their species is called reproduction. In animals, reproduction can occur in two primary ways, and the two primary ways are sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. In this chapter, we are going to study about these two kinds of or two primary ways of reproduction. First is asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, only one individual produces offsprings. And the common methods of asexual reproduction are fission, budding, regeneration, and fragmentation. In sexual reproduction, only one individual produces offsprings that are genetically identical to itself also. That means it does not involve the fusion of sex cells. That means it does not involve the fusion of any kind of, that means the two kinds of gametes. Only look at that, the fusion, that it does not involve the fusion of sex cells. That means gametes. Asexual reproduction is common in lower organisms. We can see this asexual reproduction commonly in lower organisms like amoeba, hydra, and starfish. And the common methods of asexual reproduction are fission, budding, regeneration, and fragmentation. Now we are going to study one by one these asexual reproduction method. First one is fission. And when a cell divides into two daughter cells, this method we can see in paramecium. Look at that. During unfavorable conditions, some organisms develop a thick protective cover, and that thick protective cover is called cyst around themselves. And inside of that cyst, the cell is dividing rapidly. And this cell, along with the cell division, and the cell is going to divide of the nucleus also. When the conditions become favorable, the cyst is started to rupture, and from that cyst releasing numerous daughter cells. This is called multiple fission. So two kinds of fission are there, binary fission and multiple fission. And plasmodium is showing this multiple fission. And paramecium is an example of binary fission. And look at that, the figure is showing that cells divide into two identical daughter cells by a medial constriction. daughter, that amoeba is there, parent amoeba, then inside of that matured nucleus is there, and that matured nucleus is a medially constriction is that, and that nucleus is started to elongate. After that elongation, the nucleus is started to divide, and finally that change into two identical daughter cells. So this process is binary fission. That divided into parent cell divided into two binary. And another type of fission is multiple fission that we can see in plasmodium, that is a vector of malaria, and these are the two kinds of fission. Next is budding. Budding, this is a method of asexual reproduction due to accumulation of cytoplasm. Look at that. The accumulation of cytoplasm will lead to the outgrowth, and the outgrowth is called bud. Look at the figure, and the first figure is showing that one outgrowth is appearing the body surface of hydra, and this outgrowth is started to grow, and finally that is detached from the body surface, and that detached part lead into an independent existence that change into a baby hydra there. So this method is known as a budding. Hydra is an example of budding. That means hydra is showing this kind of or in this method of reproduction. Next is regeneration. This is another method. Regeneration is the part of the body. That means if a part of the body gets detached or cut due to accident or injury from the parent's body, then it can regrow and develop into a completely new individual. And it carried out by a multiplication of special cells, and which undergo changes and form similar types of cells and tissues like the original. Hydra is showing that both kind of asexual reproduction. First was the example of that budding, and the same hydra is showing this regeneration also. Sometimes the body of hydra, that means due to some kinds of accidents or some kinds of process, that body part is detached from the body of a hydra, flatworm, starfish and earthworm like that. Then that injured, that detached part is again regrow, and that develop into a completely new individual. So that process is known as regeneration. And the last part of that asexual reproduction is fragmentation. In fragmentation, the parent body breaks into distinct pieces. Look at the figure. Fragmentation in planaria, that is showing that one planaria is there, and the body of planaria is divided into three, and each piece regrows into a mature offspring. And this we can see in flatworms and planarians. So fragmentation is an example of asexual reproduction. That means the parent body breaks into distinct pieces, and each piece regrows into a mature offspring. It's a type of asexual reproduction. Now we are going to discuss about sexual reproduction. That means both parents are involved in this reproduction. Both gametes are, both male gamete and female gamete. Both sex cells are involved here. In this type of reproduction, both parents contribute one sex cell or gamete each, and to produce offsprings. And the male is producing sperm, and the female produces ova. That are the sex cells. When a sperm fuses with the ovum, a zygote is formed, and this zygote develops into an embryo. I repeat, in this type of reproduction, that means sexual reproduction, both parents, both male and female parents are involved there, and both of them are producing sex cells, or both of them are producing gametes, and the male is produce sperm, and the female produces ova, and these both sex cells fuses together to form ovum. That means sperm fuses together with the ovum. The result of that is zygote. A zygote is formed, and this zygote develops into an embryo. In some animals, for example, birds and reptiles, the embryo is growing outside of the mother's body. That means birds and reptiles are laying their eggs. After that, the out of the body that is growing, and that will come as a baby of an or of offsprings. In fishes and amphibians, the embryo develops inside of the mother's body. In higher animals also, such as cows, dogs, and human beings, the embryo develops within the mother's body only. Then, sexual reproduction in human being. Human beings are the most complex or highly developed animals. In human beings, the reproductive cells are produced in definite organs, and that organs are called gonads. Both male and female produce special reproductive cells, and that producing definite organ is there, and that organs are called gonads. In a man, these organs are called testes, and that testis produce sperms. In woman, these organs are called ovaries, and which produce ova. Now we are going to study separately both male and female reproductive system. First one is female reproductive system. And look at that, what are the main parts of female reproductive system and what are the functions of each parts. Total 5 parts are mentioned here: ovaries, oviduct, uterus, and vagina. And first is ovaries, and these are the two whitish colored oval bodies. These are whitish colored, that is two are there, two ovaries are there, two whitish colored oval shaped bodies, and that is located in the abdominal cavity of a female. That is located in the abdominal cavity. Second one is oviduct. This is a funnel shaped muscular tube, and this is present in each ovary. Then uterus. It is a thick walled and pear shaped muscular hollow organ, and in which the embryo develops into a baby. Inside of the uterus, the embryo develops into a baby. Then the last part is vagina. It is a wide muscular tube-like structure, and this part is receiving the sperms. And look at that, what are the functions of these each parts? Function of ovary. Each ovary produces eggs and hormones also. Two kinds of hormones are producing, and the name of the hormones are estrogen and progesterone. Each ovary produces eggs and two hormones. Hormones names are estrogen and progesterone. And oviduct is a tube that serves as a pathway for an egg from the ovary to the uterus. Oviduct is a tube, and that is acting as a path for or pathway of for an egg from the ovary to the uterus. Then uterus serves as a room, and inside of that room, the total development process of embryo will be happen there. Uterus serves as a room for the developing embryo. And next is cervix. Cervix is the lower part of uterus, and this cervix is opening outside through the vagina, and vagina is receiving the sperms and also serve as the birth canal. This is a birth canal through which the mature baby is delivered. So these are the main parts and their functions of female reproductive system. Now we are going to that the male reproductive system and look at that, what are the parts and what are the functions of it. Before that, one figure is showing here. This figure 3.6 is showing the female reproductive system of human beings. And both ovaries are there, two whitish colors. Then fallopian tube is also on another structure. Then uterus is there, uterus wall, cervix and vagina. These are the different parts of female reproductive system. And related with that, before we are going to the male reproductive system, some process also they are related with the female reproductive system. And look at that, what are they? Ovulation and menstruation. That's also included in our syllabus. After attaining puberty, and we know that what is the meaning of puberty? Puberty means is the time when a girl is ready to become a mother and a boy is ready to become a father of a child. So after attaining this puberty, one mature egg is released every 28 days on an average. And this is called ovulation. And this 20-day this is a cyclical process. That cyclical process is known as menstrual cycle. And how this is happening? Endometrium breaks down and blood along with the tissues. Endometrium is there, and this endometrium part, that means the inner lining of the uterus, that is called endometrium. That endometrium breaks down and blood along with the tissues that's discharged from the vagina. And this flow of blood is called a menstruation, and it lasts for 3 to 5 days. And this figure is showing that ovulation and menstruation in human females. Next topic is male reproductive system. And the male reproductive system consists of the following four important parts are there, and that's having two major functions also. First one is testis. These are pair oval shaped structures. And this is located, testis is located outside of the abdomen. And this is a sac-like structure. And this sac-like structure is called a scrotum. Next is vas deferens. Vas deferens is a duct that connects testis to the urethra. And look at that, what is urethra? Urethra is a small duct that passes through the penis. And penis, it is the male reproductive organ through which sperms are discharged. And look at the functions of this male reproductive system. This is as two major functions are there. One is production of sperms, that means it produces sperms, and it delivers sperms to the reproductive tract to the female. So these are the main two functions of a male reproductive system. And look at that, this figure is showing male reproductive system of human being, and different parts also mentioned there: vas deferens, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, Cowper's gland, epididymis, seminiferous tubules, scrotum, testis, penis and urethra. Then fertilization. Next, this is the next topic of the chapter, fertilization. Fertilization, this means the process by which sperm nucleus fuses with an egg nucleus. The other name of egg nucleus is ovum, and to form a zygote. That means fusion of male gamete and female gamete. And the result of that is the formation of zygote. So this process are called fertilization. Fusion of male gamete and female gamete. Sperm and ova. So sperm nucleus fuses with the ovum, otherwise egg nucleus, to form a zygote. This is called fertilization. And after fertilization, this zygote undergoes continuous cell division. Then this zygote is started to go cell division. And the result of that cell division to form an embryo. Now zygote change into the form of an embryo. And again this embryo started to grow. Eventually produces a new multicellular organism. And finally that will change into a multicellular organism. In human females, fertilization occurs in fallopian tube, and the other name of fallopian tube is oviducts. After fertilization, the single-celled zygote moves from the oviduct to the uterus and gets implanted in it for further development. After fertilization, the single-celled zygote, we know that after fertilization, before fertilization, fusion was there, and fusion after fertilization, then zygote is formed there, and zygote is a single-celled one, and this zygote is started to divide, and then this zygote is moves from the oviduct to the uterus and gets implanted in it for further development. And figure 3.9 is showing that an egg cell surrounded by sperms. One egg cell is there in the center. Look at the small egg cells are there, or in the center is also one egg cell is there, and surrounded by sperms. Number of sperms are there. But only one sperm can only fertilize the egg. And the structure of sperm is also showing two regions, one head region and one tail is there. Then next is embryonic growth and development. After zygote is formed, we know that zygote is started to move and that was implanted into the mother's womb, and in the uterus it undergoes numerous cell division. The zygote, or that was a single cell, now that is changed into started to number of cell division, and finally that become a multicellular ball like structure, and that ball of cells are called blastocyst. Embedding and attachment of this multicellular blastocyst is to the uterine wall. We know that fusion of male gamete and female gamete, that process is called fertilization. After zygote is formed there, and zygote is moved, and that is implanted there into the uterus, and after that zygote changed into cell division, and that zygote now changed into a ball like structure, and multicellular ball of cells are there, and that's called blastocyst. And this blastocyst are now is into the uterine wall, that is into the attachment, embedding and attachment of the multicellular blastocyst to the uterine wall, and this process is known as implantation. And just after implantation, the embryo is attached to the uterus, and one special structure is helping for that attachment, that's called a placenta. So placenta is helping to the embryo that's attached into the uterus, and through the placenta, this, and what is another, this is having not only one function, this placenta is helping to receive essential nutrients and oxygen from the mother's body, and removing waste products like that carbon dioxide and this is passed into the mother's blood through the placenta. And this period of development of the fetus inside the uterus is called pregnancy. And we know that 9 months and 9 days like that, some period is there for the period of development of a fetus. Now embryo we are calling as fetus inside the uterus, that's called pregnancy. Then mechanism of embryonic growth and development. Growth is a series of changes, and we know that how many series steps was there in these changes. That zygote undergoes and that develop into an embryo, then fusion of sperm and egg nuclei that forms zygote, then zygote was a single celled fertilized egg, then that's divide and redivide and to form a cluster of cells, and these divisions of cells are called cleavage. And this, in the cleavage, the cells divides to form gastrula. The whole process is called cell differentiation. So these all the process together we are calling as a cell differentiation. The zygote grows into an embryo into a fetus into a baby, and a baby ultimately grows into an adult. Then the last topic of this chapter is birth. At the end of about 280 days, approximately, that's 9 months and 9 days and something, certain hormones now, after the maturity of that is inside of the mother's womb, that certain hormones are start to produce a series of, with the help of that production of hormones, a contraction of uterine walls started there, contractions of the uterine wall, and these muscular contractions are called the labor. You know that labor pain and like the labor. Then contraction is helping to push the child or push the baby out of the mother's body through the vagina. And the full term of development of an embryo in the uterus is termed as gestation period. So this, the full term development of an embryo inside of the uterus is together we are calling as gestation period. Dear students, these are the main points of this chapter, and now I'm going to winding up this video session. Thank you.